We're here again, Conversations with Malik podcast show. I'd like to thank everybody who listens and watch this show. Please don't forget to follow us at Conversations with Malik, convoswithmalik.com. That's our website. There you can find all our social media links. Instagram at ConWMalik. Check us on YouTube, Facebook, Conversations with Malik. Like, subscribe, share. And on this show, we bring in the best people. You want to know why? Because everybody is the best. Because we're all, if we're living in our truth, we're living in the best versions of who we are, right? And so, look, we celebrate everybody on the show because we're all superheroes and super sheroes. And we talk to people and we laugh and we joke, but we get serious a little bit. But the purpose of this show is so that you can watch this interview and you can take something from it so that you can be a better person in your life. Because if you be a better person, you could be a better person to your family. Your family's a better family. A better family in the community makes the community a better community. The better community makes a better state. The better state makes a better country. A better country makes a better world. And we need some shit to be a little better because we're getting the orange orangutan out of office. And we need change. And I'm going to introduce you to Brandy Curvy J.
Hi.
From the Brandy J Show, CEO and editor-in-chief, Lux Curves Magazine. How you doing, Brandy?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm good. I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have you on.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, sure. And listen, tell the audience a little bit about who and what you are and what you do.
Ooh, okay. Well, there's a lot. So as I said, I am the CEO of Lux Curves Magazine. We're the only upscale publication for curvy plus size women. We just celebrated 5 years.
Nice.
Running the publication, launching the publication, living in my purpose with the publication. And then out of the publication came the Brandy J Show. And we're celebrating 5 seasons of the Brandy J Show. We just got picked up on Ova Media, Black-owned network out of LA, ran by Cassandra Cooper. She was just featured in Forbes magazine. As she told me, you are the face of Ova TV. And I said, okay, let's just make this work.
Let's make it do. You ain't got to tell me twice.
Because you ain't got to tell me but once. I'm like, okay, let's do this. So besides the talk show, the magazine, motivational speaker, branding life coach, modeling coach, help models get into the industry to teach them things that I had to learn the hard way, and just really all about woman empowerment and bringing women together. I also have my other brand called The Boss's Brunch with Keisha, celebrity designer Keisha Nicole. Out of LA, and we've been doing this for about 3 years now, where we bring women together to motivate them, to inspire them to go after their dreams. Our first Boss's Brunch, we had Maxine Waters come. That was amazing. Second one, we had Lunel. So it's really an inspirational brand that we help other women channel their inner bosses in them so they can live the life that they want to live.
Nice. And listen, it's all about helping people to become better people, and we all got clay feet, so we all walk in this walk.
Yes.
And so none of us are perfect, and I tell people be like, yo, Malik, you help so many people, you do so much for so many. I'd be like, yeah, because I'm so fucking sick. That's why. My ass is crazy, and if I don't do something to occupy my crazy ass time, I'm gonna off the deep end.
But I just feel like we were all put here to help one another, and people have forgotten that. People get so caught up in them that they don't realize if you help someone else, your legacy lives on, and then in return you get more blessings. And I just feel like as people, we have forgotten that, because everyone's on this my tip, versus being about helping others and being there for others. And then people allow their egos to get in the way. And to me, I don't have time. I don't have the energy for that. Like, I really don't deal with anyone like that, because it's unnecessary. It's all about being you and helping others and moving your ego out the way.
Yeah, it's too exhausting.
It is.
The fighting and the pushing and the scratching and clawing is too
Yeah.
exhausting. And your story was very interesting when I was reading your bio, and I was talking about you too. And shout out before I forget, because I'm not trying to get choked and strangled. Shout out to Yvonne Diva Dash. I'm starting
Yes.
with this. Listen. I'm sorry I went 5 minutes without shouting you.
She gonna get you.
But look, Yvonne is the best. That's a good friend of mine. So shout out La Bella Diva and all of them over there. The whole crew and everybody who helps to make this show possible. But in your story was interesting because you were you faced challenges as far as your weight, being overweight. I guess it's safe to say, battling obesity. Because in sense,
I would say, being younger, being a young 10 years old, 11 years old, I was chunky. I didn't, but I didn't think anything was wrong.
Okay.
I was just being Brandy. Okay. And it was my father who pointed it out as he put me on my first diet when I was 10. And that's when I was like, well, what's wrong with me?
Okay.
And then that catapulted into a lot of things going into my teenage years, battling eating disorders, almost attempting, trying to attempt suicide twice because I was just tired of it. I was just tired of being compared to my middle sister. I'm here asking my mom, crying, why couldn't I be born, a premature baby like she was so I can be skinny? Because that's what I, was thinking.
Right.
And it wasn't until I got into sports, and then obviously you get into sports, active, and my shape started to come. And it was this thick Coca-Cola body shape. And I was just like, okay. And then, it was my grandmother, rest in peace, my grandma Sarah. She to me is the ultimate curvy woman.
Okay.
She will cut you out in a heartbeat, didn't care what the hell you have to say, but she was proud of who she was. And then she instilled that in me. Right. I mean, when I would go to her telling her what her son did, like she would be on the phone cussing his ass out. Like, why would you do this to her? Like, and it was hard. I understand why my dad did it as I got older. But it was something that when I came into my own as a grown woman, that's when I really started accepting my body and who I was.
And your size and how you look, and that you're beautiful.
Yes.
For being you. What so you went through a period of self-acceptance during the period where you maybe did you go through a period where you wanted to look like other girls that you've seen that people said, that's the definition of beauty?
Of course. I mean, I think we all have as women and even as men sometimes. Growing up in the 80s and 90s, they put what they want in the media and TV to brainwash us to say this is how we needed to look and this is what we needed to look like.
Right.
And that's where, it just came up. The obsession for me was like, okay, I got to look like this. I got to look like that. Mm-hmm. And then it became exhausting.
Gotcha.
And it wasn't until, my grandmother was like telling me, you have to love you and you have to be happy with how you look and how God made you. And once I did that, it was good. And then it was great. And then I had my daughter at 21. It was an abusive marriage. And then I had to rebuild my self-esteem and everything back up because he didn't like the fact that I was confident about my size.
So he was trying to change you?
Yes. He was really trying to change me. He didn't like the fact that I was just really confident and I loved who I was. Mm-hmm. And, I was going to school. I was doing he wanted someone to be home and, bare feet and pregnant and wait on him and all this other stuff. Wow. And not have a mind of her own.
Gotcha.
So once he realized he couldn't do that, that's when the abuse really started more. The physical, the mental and emotional abuse from him. And then then at the time my dad was in prison. So my dad was like, I'm going to visit my dad in prison with black eyes and busted lips. And
Oh,
as a father, he felt helpless. He
yeah.
was just like, okay. So when my dad got out, he had a conversation with him. And then I took that as a way for me to get.
And how did that conversation
He never touched me again after that day.
Mm.
But I was already mentally checked out of that marriage because I was like, this is not where I needed to be. I never really was in love with him. And I needed to just get out of that marriage for me, or it was going to kill me and my daughter. And I knew once my dad got home from prison, I had a way to get out and not be so afraid.
Yeah. Your dad sounds like me. You're not hitting my daughter.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
And my dad was the same way. I remember there was an instance where we was my sister used to live in Queensbridge, and she was much older than me, and we used to go over there and visit. And her boyfriend was talking to her in a way that my father didn't like, and my father gave him a warning. He did it again. My father proceeded to whip his ass and broke his jaw. The dude had to have his jaw wired. So that's how I'm wired. I'm not playing that. And I'm not worried about getting arrested. I'll pay a lawyer, I'll listen to assault charge, whatever it is. But I believe that I have the right to protect my family with my life.
Exactly. And that's how my dad was. He passed away 6 years ago, but he protected he had 3 daughters, and my mom. So not only did he have to raise all of us, but he had to raise us, for one, to protect ourselves, and for him to protect us. So it was something that he didn't tolerate that, so when he came home, all that's changed. And, I obviously ended up divorcing. Thank God I divorced his ass and left the marriage because he started to be abusive to our daughter. And, she was only like 2 at the time,
Wow.
So it was just like, no, like, yeah. So he really tried, my ex-husband, he really tried to
break you,
kill my spirit.
Yeah.
As a woman, because I feel like, looking back at it, he was more insecure with himself. And as women, we sometimes think, oh, it's me. No, and I tell women, who been in abusive situations and I said, it's not you. They're projecting their insecurities on you because they see something in you that they wish that they had. And they're not secure within themselves as a man or even as a woman. I mean, women abuse people too. So they're not secure within themselves. So they're going to project that out on you.
Right.
And he tried for years. His way of getting back at me was, I'm not going to be in our daughter's life.
Yeah.
I'm going to, make you suffer as a single mother, and you won't be able to do this and do that.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
And some of that's a tool to get you back, also to get you to conform to the terms of their relationship. And especially if he's like economically in the position, I've seen that before. He's economically in a position where you kind of have to depend on them. Then I've actually seen women give in, right, to their terms just to have the support that they need for their children.
And for me, I mean, I've been working at the age of 14. So I've always had my own money. And in the beginning of the marriage, he wanted me not to work.
Yeah.
And I didn't work. Yeah, I didn't work. I just had our daughter. I didn't work for like almost 9 months. And then my mom started seeing how controlling he was because we were living with her at the time. And she was like, hell no, I didn't raise, she's like, I'm taking my ass back to work. And he didn't know I was actually looking for a job. And then he came home one day and I was like, oh, I start work tomorrow. And he got so pissed off.
Yes.
And he was like, well, you can't work. We don't have a day. I said, I found a daycare. Yeah. Like I like, you don't come at me like that.
Yeah, I got it all figured out, baby.
I got it all figured out,
yeah.
You know, and he did not like the independence, but that's who I am.
Yes.
And I wasn't going to succumb or change for him. And, you know, when my dad came home from prayer, I said, Daddy, I need to get out of this shit. Like, this is not where I want to be. I'm not in love with him. I don't love him. Didn't want to marry him. And I'm leaving. So either you let me and your grandchild come here, or we're going to go to a shelter.
And you know what? I don't know him, but he sounds like a narcissist. But moving along. So out of tragedy, out of tough times, out of struggle comes greatness.
Yes.
Right. And so, you know, before we get to how you started on your journey to the greatness, right? And it's funny because, you know, and I'll tell a story real quick, but it's funny because, you know, people want the glory. They don't want the story. Right?
Yep.
And sometimes people say to me, yo, Malik, you got it going on and this and that and no. But yo, bro, in order for you to, first of all, I'm here by the grace of God. So you're the ancestor. So I don't want to take any credit for that. But for you to be Malik, you would have actually had to go through all of those dark days that I went through, because that was the ingredients that made me who and what I am.
Yeah.
So you can't want this, the life, the businesses, the material stuff that you see, which is only a byproduct of the inner work. It's a byproduct of the inside.
Yeah.
So that's two parts of it. You can't, the things that are manifestate, the fruit that's on my tree is as a result of how I'm rooted and what I'm rooted in. But not only that, my story and what I've been through. So I'll tell you this story real quick. So I was young, right? And I was a very impatient child. I had a hard head. I didn't like to listen. My father used to be like, boy, you got a big head and a hard head. So we grabbed this cocoon, and I said, Daddy, let's take the cocoon home and watch the butterfly. You watch the butterfly eventually hatch out of the cocoon. So about 7, we took the cocoon, we put it on our terrace in my building. And about 7 days later, I saw the butterfly trying to get out of the cocoon. So we were happy and we were watching the progress of it. So then it looked like the butterfly's wing was stuck and it couldn't get out. So my father was leaving to go to work, and I said, Daddy, why don't we like take a razor and cut a little slit to help the butterfly get out? And he said, why don't you just wait until I come home from work, and then we'll talk about this. Knowing me all day long, it was just in my mind. Help the butterfly. Help the butterfly. So I cut a little slit, and then I saw it trying to move to get out. I cut a little more, and it started, and it fell out. So we took it up to this place, to the pet store. And the guy at the pet store said, there's nothing we can do for the butterfly. The butterfly is gonna die. It hadn't fully formed into a butterfly. It was still part caterpillar.
Got it.
And he said to me, the process of it breaking out of the cocoon is what gets it strong enough and helps it to develop fully into a butterfly. The struggle of breaking out of the cocoon makes it strong enough so that when it gets out, it's strong enough to actually fly. So you can't help it.
You got to let it do the process. And that's life. You have to, and I thank God for the struggles. I thank him for the pain. I thank him for what he put me through. because if he never put me through it, I wouldn't be here right now.
Mm.
And I tell when people say, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, why are you apologizing? I was supposed to go through that. I was supposed to go through those pains because I know my purpose. And I know he uses me as a vessel to help other women and men to understand that. Like, we got to go through that pain.
Yes.
We got to know heartbreak.
Yes.
We got to be disappointed. We got to be betrayed. We got to be backstabbed, you know, because we have to learn from that in order for one to see it coming, to see the signs and to see it coming and to know how to move accordingly too, because then that's where your growth comes from.
Yeah. If
you are just stagnant and you don't see things, then you're just being the same person. Now I can sense someone's energy. I can see if they're fake. I can see what type of snake they are. And once I see it, I move accordingly. But if I never went through that, I would never see it. And I would still be getting mistreated.
Exactly.
In every aspect.
In every aspect. And we would still be, a lot of the backstabbing and a lot of the betrayal was actually me being too codependent.
Yes.
People that I didn't need to be dependent on.
Exactly.
You know, the God had given me all I really needed to stand on my own to fly.
Yeah.
To be great. And so this led you into the curvy lifestyle.
Yes.
Right? So all of that led to all of the people that's blessed as a result of what you went through. So talk to me about the Curvy Lifestyle. You kicked it off in 2012, you know, to demonstrate to women you can be classy, sexy, and elegant at any time.
Yes. Well, like I said, it starts with my mother, grandmother, my aunt, the three of them growing up out here in California. Mm-hmm. So my dad's from Philly, mom's from Arkansas, then they met in California. Oh, yeah, wow. It's crazy. I always tell people I have an East Coast daddy, it's down south mom, and they made some West Coast babies. I always tell them that, you know, and it's just, you know, but so growing up, we didn't have a lot of family out here. So my mom and dad, they're friends, and the only blood family we had out here was my grandmother, my aunt. So my mom and dad would throw these parties. I mean, you know, the old school house parties, you know, but it was my aunt and my grandmother and mother coming in diamonds and furs to the party and just being so classy with it. And they're all curvy. So growing up, I was just like memorized by that. And to me, that was normal. I was just like, you know, yeah, we got diamonds, we got Cadillacs, we got furs. Like that was normal shit to me growing up.
Yeah, and they were strutting their shit too. Like,
yeah. So when I had my son, Quentin, my baby, well, he's 10, still always gonna be the baby. Yeah. I realized something was missing in the plus size industry. Okay. When I was looking, I was at the biggest size I've ever been in my life. So I was trying to see what to do. I dibbled and dabbled in other businesses before, event planning, cooking, all that. I know I'm an entrepreneur, but I didn't know what I needed to do. Gotcha. So when I prayed and I said, God, I need you to give me guidance and tell me what my purpose is. Tell me what I need to do. And I did, and he gave me my purpose. Your purpose is to motivate and inspire curvy women. I'm not going to tell you how to do it. I'm just going to tell you this is what you have to do. And I had a boutique, and then I had the Curvy Inc. Lifestyle. And it was a group of women, you know, bringing women together to motivate them, to empower them. And I elevated and went into publication. And because I felt like in order to change the way mainstream media sees us, we got to be a part of mainstream media. Okay. So that's what I did. And then I did New York Fashion Week Plus in 2015, created New York Fashion Week Plus. That was the first time anyone has ever did that. We came to New York and did a full week of fashion shows during New York Fashion Week, really? Just for curvy plus size women in 2015. Wow. Then after 2015, you started seeing other designers doing it, but they're never going to try to give me credit. But I started that shit.
Yo, man. When things open up, I'm stepping to them up there. Yo, Brandy. I'm gonna bring my crew and be like, yo.
That was me. And the people was like, what? Like, I'm like, go back. That was Brandee J. That was me.
Yeah.
And then after that, that's when Lux Curves magazine came in 2015.
Okay.
And it's a lifestyle publication. But it's based off of my family.
Why do you call it a lifestyle? Because I noticed. Why do you call it a lifestyle?
Because mainstream media feels like curvy women don't have a lifestyle. Think about it. Anytime you see curvy plus size women in 80s, 90s, early 2000s, they don't talk about the lifestyle. They think we don't have a lifestyle. Okay. They think the only thing we care about is fashion.
Okay.
So Lux Curves, we broke that barrier. Because I said, look, yes, fashion is important, beauty is important, but politics, healthy eating, relationships, we love to travel. We like the finer things in life.
Like other people.
So that's what I based everything off of. And that's where Lux Curves stands. And I tell people, we are the only upscale lifestyle publication for curvy plus size women, because I wanted them to stop seeing curvy women, especially curvy Black women, as just a piece of meat.
So sexy. Sexism is so subtle and sneaky. And if you're not aware, consciously aware, you'll be existing in it without even realizing. That's powerful you said that.
Yeah. And you have to, and that's, I mean, believe me, I was 19 and, Mexico TJ doing booty hop contests because I understand, I'm not like, oh, this proved, no, I did that shit. I was in the first booty hop contest in TJ at Club XS. My girls would tell you, you know what I'm saying? I understand. But as I got older, I said, there's more to us than this.
No, yeah, I got you. Mm-hmm.
And that's where it came from. So, and, seeing, how my mother and my aunt, they're all educated Black women.
Yes.
Who are confident, who are curvy, and who don't take no shit from anybody. So, and who speak their mind and who have a lifestyle. Yes. And that's why I said Lux is a lifestyle publication.
And they have brains and they're intelligent and they're leaders, because it's funny, you might look at somebody and because of their weight or their size, you don't think that they can be vice president or senior VP, yes, and they do that with Black women. And it's powerful that you're saying this. This is a very good point.
And I realized that early on. And we have to, believe me, I'm not, they call me bougie, and my dad always said, how the hell did this one come out to be so goddamn bougie? Because he didn't understand it. He all, hustler hood and, and I'm just like, excuse me.
Yeah. Your father probably seems it. Just from the conversation, I would have liked your pops. I could tell.
He like, go get me some Mickeys. I'm like, all right, Daddy, I'll get you your Mickeys and pork skins, whatever, but it's something that it does to me. It's more like like I said, we're more than that. And, I bust my ass through school. I paid for my own education. I took me 10 years to get my bachelor's degree, but I did it, and I tell women we're more than just our bodies. And people will say, well, you've done, nude photo shoots, you've done that. I say, yes, I have, but they're always done in an elegant, classy way.
Yes.
They're not done trashy or anything like that, because I said, in order for mainstream media to view us different, they have to see us different. And we have to stop asking for a seat at the table and create our own table. And that's what I did with my empire. I'm not going to keep knocking on your door asking, hey, interview me, or, you should be in my magazine or do this. I should, you know, whatever. Like they didn't want, you know, I was asking to be, you know, doing other people's publications and, you know, asking to be on the red carpet and things like that. And I said, like, I'm tired of fucking asking you guys.
Yes.
Like, I'm not gonna keep asking. I'm just gonna create my own shit. And that's what I did.
Yes. Yeah.
And you know, and we have to do that as Black women and as Black people and stop asking for a seat at the table. Yes. and show the world we are who we are and live in that. You know, and I just feel like through the lifestyle shows that at Lux.
Gotcha. So did you ever, I know you were married then, did you ever remarry?
Yeah, I've been married twice. So 2 divorces.
Okay.
And then I actually came out when I was 39.
Okay.
So I have a girlfriend.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And that was interesting coming out at 39 to your mother and to my family.
How did they receive it?
My daughter, who's 19 now, she kind of figured it out. She actually came out to me when she was 13. And she kind of figured it out. I would make comments about women throughout the years, but you know, my best friend since we've been best friends since we were 13, she knew.
Gotcha.
She was like, half, I was just waiting for you to figure it out.
Gotcha.
But going to she's like, all the comments you made about Young and May, I figured that shit out a long time ago, girl.
You fell asleep on my titty too many times. I knew you was a little too comfortable on my titty when you was
right. So I remember going to my mom and you know, I said, Mom, you know, I like women. And she choked on her coffee.
I'm glad she wasn't eating corn.
I was just like, I said, Mom, I have to live in my truth. And I said, I can't do this. And at first I came out as bisexual. And then as I got more into my truth and who I am, I realized I was more and more attracted to women than men.
Do you think part of the experiences that you had with men played a part in?
Oh, no. No.
Okay.
It's not like, oh, they did me wrong, let me hate men and go like women. No.
Do you think that's the case with some people though?
Could you repeat the question? Because your camera froze up.
Do you can hear me good?
I can hear you right now, yeah.
Okay. Do you think that's the case with some people though?
That could be the case. I don't want to speak on everyone. I can only speak about me. I mean, I even when I came out and I had guys I used to date call me, did I do something? You know, was it me? And I'm like, the hell, it ain't about you. Like it's about me. It has nothing to do with you. I think our Black men are gorgeous. Or, you know, they're beautiful Black men.
But that was nice they called though. You know.
No, don't call me for shit. You know what I'm saying? Like when you had me, you didn't know what to do and you messed it up. So don't try to call in and be like, are you sure this is what you want?
I got you.
You know, and I went through that when I came out, a lot of them were trying to like, well, you know, can we date again? No.
Ooh. Oh, so they might have been trying to get in on the
I don't know what they were thinking, but it was.
I know what some of them were thinking. They were thinking, oh, she like women, so maybe we could do a little.
Yeah, no. I'm like, ew, no. You weren't that great when I had you by myself, so no. Ooh. I told a couple of them that. I'm very honest.
Oh, well, look. So, so you're remarried to a woman?
No, I'm not remarried yet.
Okay, but your relationship is going well.
Yes, very happy and in love with my girlfriend. Yes.
Good. And so, how are things going with the business and everything? Talk to me about some of the things that you got.
Wow, 2020, I call it the year of the purge. For my business, because it really brought a lot of things to light.
Yes.
And it really made me see who really was for me and who's really not for me. And it made me get more creative with my business.
Yes.
And it pushed me in a different way.
Okay.
And that's what I tell people, 2020 is the year of the purge.
Yes.
And most people didn't know what to do in this pandemic. Mm-hmm. My magazine, we already work remote. Everyone works remote. The only, I was going through a partnership, my show was getting picked up by OVA. So it worked out because we couldn't really film anything until the deal was solidified.
Gotcha.
So once the deal was solidified, everything, we started just doing transitioning, but the business went through a purge and it went through a growth. And I'm just so blessed with how the magazine has picked up, with how people are saying, why haven't we heard about you all this time? I mean, we had Rick Ross on the November cover and, flew to Atlanta during the pandemic to interview him and shoot him on the cover. And, we just had Dionne Warwick on my talk show. And, people saw the hustle and the grind more. That's what 2020 did. It made people stop and see who was about their shit and who wasn't about their shit. And people saw Lux Curves magazine, the Brandy J show. When I interviewed Rick, he said, and I did my intro and I was like, 5th season. He said, 5th season. I said, yeah. He said, where have you been?
Wait, so hold on one second. I'm opening the door for my co-host. So you interviewed Rick Ross?
Yes.
You big time. She interviewed Rick Ross for me.
What?
Yeah. What? This is my co-host Jeff Jones.
Hi, Jeff.
This Brandee Curvy J. And you gotta say Curvy, so don't just say Brandee J.
Oh my God! How you doing, Brandee Curvy?
I'm doing good.
So wow. So that's great. So things are going pretty well.
Things are going good. We actually pushed back the debut of the talk show to January 21. Mm-hmm. So January 12th is when the first episode aired, and we kick it off with Rick Ross. Nice. And then we've been doing my talk show, but doing Zoom because it is what it is. It's the nature of the beast right now. And then the magazine is just going through a growth process right now with our team, with everything we're developing, and just really pushing out better content. That's one thing I always tell my contributors and my editors to challenge them. I said, I want more content, more controversy, as far as great controversy. We don't do any gossip. We don't see a gossip column in the magazine because I don't have time for that. Gotcha. When I interview celebrities, I don't bring up anything that's in the tabloids.
Gotcha.
Because I look at them as they're human beings. No one has time for that shit. Like my dad taught me, if it doesn't affect your money, your kids, or your significant other, why the hell would you care?
And let me tell you, Brandee, I've never been the type that's been like, oh, that's so-and-so over there. Oh, wow. Now, it's not because I'm hating. It's just because that's a human being over there.
Yeah.
So I grew up in Queens. So we grew up around LL Cool J, Run DMC.
Exactly.
All of the rappers that come out. These are people we saw all the time, just like, and if you were like me, you was always around dudes that was getting money. So we were always on the scene where there was people who were celebrities.
Yeah.
And I never been the type, let's go stand over here around. Nah. That's a human being over there, just like me.
And it's just like out here in Cali, that's how it is. Like it's just like, oh, okay. It's just like, okay. Like, and when other people get, excited or go crazy, like I've never been the one. The only celebrity I chased down was Stone Cold Steve Austin. Because I was a big wrestling fan and your ass is going to sign my damn shirt.
on the boobs too?
saw my shirt, I was like, give me a hell yeah. That's the only celebrity I only chased down in my life.
but you know what? And it's cool to actually be a fan of somebody.
Yeah, it is.
Right? Like one time I saw Ice-T in the Village, you know, and I like Ice-T. And I was like, Ice, what up? And he was like, yo, what's up, baby? I said, yo, Ice, I usually don't do this, you know, because I'm a man's man. I said, yo, Ice, I'm a fan. He said, yo, dog, it takes a man's man to say that. You know what I'm saying? And we just sat there talking for a second. We got like these ices from this icy thing. And he was cool as hell. He didn't have no security. So it was no big deal.
Yeah.
People came up and take pictures. And if you don't have all of that security and all that stuff, people might not even notice you.
Exactly. It's when you draw attention to yourselves or anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had it done to me. Like, I remember one time I was in New York for New York Fashion Week, and I posted I was in New York, and this one fan hit me up. He's like, I'm in Connecticut. Can I drive down to meet you? And I said, I'm looking at my best friend and my business partner, Keisha. I said, what? I said, if you want to, gave him, and he drove down from Connecticut. He's like, I just have to meet you, Brandy J. And of course we all were outside.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, and I'm not even used to that. Like, people do that, and I'd be like, I'm just Brandy. Like, yeah, I'm not about to be the Hollywood, like, you know, because I'll get my ass beat, you know. Yeah. I got people around me who like, bitch, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. But you know what? Sometimes there's something in us, and I got a few questions before we close the store. But sometimes there's something in us that attracts people to us, and then so we don't know what we're doing for that person taking that ride down to Connecticut, right?
Yeah.
Because I just met you. As soon as we got on, we were laughing and joking because you're a dope person. Right?
Thank you.
And so if when things open up and Yvonne tells me, yo, Malik, Brandy's gonna be in the city doing so-and-so, I'm coming to meet you because I want to come and meet you.
Thank you.
Because I'm a fan of yours now and give you a big hug, and I know we're gonna laugh and stuff and be like, we crazy ass here. You know?
and it's crazy because like the owner of the network, she was editing the Rick Ross episode, and she's like, you know, Brandy, I'm not really a big fan of his. But she was like, when I saw the interview and post-production, she was like, y'all was just talking like y'all were homies. And I said that's my angle. Even when I've had Tori Hart, we're talking, you know, we were talking about two Black mothers who were single Black co-parenting with exes, you know, and it was like, she was like, you are just the homegirl, Brandy. She was like, and I remember Rick, and they both said this, that they were like, Hollywood needs someone like you. They need someone who's real, who came from the struggle, who understands, and you are just you. And I said, well, that's always been my angle, you know, and I said, because I'm not about to change. I'm not about to be all like, no.
Yeah, no, you're gonna,
you know, and it's because, and I know I've been destined for greatness. My grandmother's told me that when I was born. She always said it, this one is destined for greatness. And, you know, but we always have to be humble and be true to who we are and not let the world or the fame or the money change you like that. Because like I tell people, just like God gave it to you, he can take it away from you. So always be humble with what you have and treat people good and just have a good goddamn time. Life is too stressful as it is. I ain't got time. You see, I got my I Love Santa shit on. I ain't got time for this.
Well, look, I'll say something, and I would never, your grandma, so I would never contradict anything any of the grandparents would ever say. I would just like to add another angle upon what your grandmother said. That, and yes, you are destined for greatness, right? Because in the future of your destiny, you're going to do great things. I would add to that is that you're already great.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
And so I got a couple questions for you.
Okay.
A black genie comes. you get stranded on this stranded island like Tom Hanks in Castaway. And a black genie comes out of the bottle and he's going to grant you one of various things. The first thing is he asks you, what do you want to eat for the rest of your life? You're never going to get in contact with anybody. You're stranded on this island and he tells you, okay, you get one meal. Now you got to eat this every day. What would your one meal be?
Wow. It would have to be like some fruit.
Yeah.
It would have to be some natural fruit from God.
Okay. What fruit?
First thing that comes up to mind is I was thinking strawberries or pineapple.
And that's all you would eat? That would be your meal?
Well, probably oranges because of the vitamin C.
But what's your favorite dish? You got to give me.
Oh my God. Okay. I love seafood. My favorite dish is lobster.
Gotcha. Okay. Your favorite beverage, non-alcoholic?
Oh, iced tea, green tea.
Okay. You get one drink. You drink alcohol?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you get one drink, and this is all you're gonna be able to drink.
Give me my wine. My red wine.
Any specific one?
It's called from like, I have it in my refrigerator from like San Antonio Winery. It's a sweet red wine that I love.
Okay, gotcha. You get one album.
One album?
Yeah.
Oh shit. God, it's either between Patti LaBelle, Michael Off the Wall.
You gotta pick one album. You get one, girl.
It would have to be Patti LaBelle.
Patti LaBelle's album?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It would have to be, I feel, my dad and my uncle, they're twins. They actually went to school with Patti. So I grew up in my house with Patti LaBelle as a young child, not knowing her, but just hearing her music.
Okay, so it would have to be Patti LaBelle album.
Yeah.
Okay. If you could go back and speak to a 10-year-old Brandee J, like Back to the Future, he said, yo, I'm gonna let you go back for one day and spend time with a 10-year-old Brandee J. What would you say to her?
I would tell her, your dad loves you. I thought for so long my dad didn't love me because he was so hard on me. And I would say, your dad loves you. He just shows it in a different way. So listen to what he's telling you. Understand who he is as a man. And know that he's doing this to make you a better woman. Because I didn't realize that till he died. So that's what I would tell her.
If you could speak to so then he goes, okay, I'm gonna let you go back one more time. And you can speak to a 22-year-old Brandee J. What would you say to her?
Get the hell out of this damn marriage. Because I was married to my daughter's father at 21, and then I was still there. I would have told her, get out sooner.
You think she would listen?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. If you could, now the genie goes, I hate to break this to you, but, you know, I'm going to let you go back to society for a second. You only got one day there, and you can give a message to all of the plus size, curvy African-American women, but you can only say one sentence to them. What would that one sentence be?
Value who you are in all situations. Because I feel like as Black curvy women, we think we lose our value to ourselves, trying to be other people, trying to do things that we think the world wants us to do. And society has taught us to lose value in who we are. And we have to remember we are the mothers of this earth. The Black woman is the mother of this earth. And society has groomed us to forget that. And you have all these other races who want to be like us, who want to look like us, who change their features for us, who try to be us. We need to learn to be ourselves and to value who we are and how God created us. We are the mothers of this earth. If you take away all the Black women from this earth, this world would not prosper in any type of way.
And one final thing. If you could give me one word to describe Brandee Curvy J, what would that one word be?
Evolving. I'm always evolving, always learning, always reading, always wanting. I meditate, I pray, I talk to my therapist every week. I'm always evolving into being a better version of myself than who I was yesterday, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, a year ago. If you're not evolving, you're not living. You can't be the same person you were a minute ago. You can't. It just makes no sense to me. So evolving, I'm forever evolving into something bigger and better, not only for me, but for my children.
Wow.
And for the world.
Wow, yeah, there was this verse in the record Moment for Life with Nicki Minaj and Drake. And Drake's he ended his verse saying, everybody dies, but not everybody lives. And that was really deep. I want you to tell everybody how they can get in touch with you, how they can find you.
You can find me, it's Brandee Curvy J. It's Brandee with 2 E's, Curvy with the K, J, just the letter J on social media. That's all my social media. Lux Curves Magazine, LUXE Curves with a K, at Lux Curves. If you want to email us, you can email us at pr@luxcurves.com. You find me, it's easy to find me on Instagram and all the social media platforms. At times, if people message me and it's me responding back, so don't be, crazy. Oh, she responds. Yes, I do. So that's how you can find me.
Listen, make sure you text me your social media stuff so I can tag you. And listen, it's been
okay.
I'm just honored to have you. It's been a great conversation. I've learned a lot. I learned as a result of interviewing people. And people ask me, why do you like doing interviews so much?
Yeah.
Because I learned through talking to others. Right? And I know you probably have that experience too.
Yeah.
What you do. And listen, thank you for coming on. Go enjoy your day.
Thank you for having me. I had a great time.
Yeah, go back and yell at the kids and then tell that dog next door to be quiet.
He always be barking. I'm like, come on. Can I sleep in today? Just one day.
Yeah,
I can sleep in.
I'm off today. Break.
So I now have to get up.
Yo, you the bomb. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And
Thank you. I had a great time.
I end the show in my normal fashion. Thank you for tuning in to Conversations with Malik. Brother Malik loves you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Peace.
Bye.
Bye, sis.